Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Eniye George, a Nigerian living in Poland, and I'm a preschool teacher in Warsaw. For those of you coming across this channel for the first time, you're welcome. Please do well to like, share, subscribe, and let's grow together. Thank you. So today is just going to be a short story time, a short story on how I came to Poland. And it's a very long and complex story, but I'm just going to make it short. And but before I start, I would love to say a huge thank you to God for making it possible for me to be here and for using my uncle to bring me to Poland. It's I never really planned on coming to Poland. Honestly, if you had asked me a few years ago where I would love to live, Poland wouldn't have even made it made the list. But life has a funny way of surprising you, and But I'm grateful for the opportunity, and like I said, I'm thankful to my uncle for adhering to the voice of God to bring me to Poland. I'm really grateful. So it all started in the early 2000s when I was still in secondary school, when my uncle visited Nigeria for the first time. Yeah, I mean, it was my first time of seeing him. So, after a few days, he saw me, he saw everyone, and he just told my grandma, oh, I would love this girl to come and further her education after a secondary school. So we all laughed over it, and it was really it was a nice moment. So after that, the talk didn't come up again. So fast forward to when I had finished my secondary school in 2005, I was just planning, or then I had even written the JAM, but I didn't pass. For those of you that don't know what is JAM, JAM is like Matura, and it's an exam you write to get into the university. So I didn't pass. So my mom suggested that, okay, since I didn't pass that, I should go to College of Education instead of sitting at home while I wait for the next year to retake the exam. So yeah, that was what I was doing. I was like also processing that one to get into the College of Education as well. When my uncle called and asked if I had finished my secondary school and if I had gotten my result, did I pass? And they were like, yeah, she passed. She's just waiting to get into uni. So he said, okay, they should send him some of the documents that I have that he needed to apply for school for me here in Poland. So they sent it to him, and the next thing I got was a parcel, with all the documents that I needed to take to the embassy. That this everything was just happening so fast, and what I'm saying happened within a year. So I sent the document. So this was when we started running around for me to go get a passport, because all this why I didn't have a passport, because he said it and the talk wasn't coming up again, so nobody really bothered about it. But when it became serious, I had to quickly go and do my passport, and then we took the document to the Polish embassy. Then the embassy was still in Lagos, so we took the documents to the embassy in Lagos, and then when they checked everything, they said, okay, everything is okay, everything is right, but there is like something that I needed to add. So they said I should go and bring that one and come back. So by the time we got to Benin, got that document, then went back to the embassy. I got the visa. The second time I went to the embassy, I got the visa. So after getting the visa, we told my uncle. He was also very happy that I got the visa, and then he sent the flight ticket. So immediately he heard that I got the visa, he sent the flight ticket to me. And when he sent the flight ticket to me, I officially went home, packed my things in Benin, and came to Lagos to fly. So meanwhile, this whole thing was going on between like January 26 to like September 26. So by September, everything was ready. So I went to the airport to fly. So when I got there, they told me it was a Turkish airline. So the man told me I can't fly because there was a mistake in my ticket. So I think the mistake was in the name or something. I can't remember exactly. So I couldn't fly. So I was at the airport. This airport was crowded. I knelt down. I started begging this man. I started begging, please, because when we were preparing all these things, um, I was aware, but I think I was not fully aware of what was going on around me. It didn't hit me that I was leaving the country. It was at that moment at the airport that it really dawned on me that I was leaving Nigeria. So I knelt down, I started crying. I was begging this man, please. Mind you, this was in September and school was to resume in October. So I was begging him, I was telling him, school is going to resume in October and I can't afford to miss it. The man said no. So there was a man at the desk there, at the check-in desk there, that saw everything. So he called my uncle that followed me to the airport and asked what the matter was. So my uncle explained to him, and he asked my uncle if he was the one that bought the ticket. He said no, that the ticket was bought in Poland. So the man said, okay, if this Turkish man said no, it's no. It means I can't fly. But he has a suggestion that if we can buy the ticket in Nigeria there, and it will be easier, so we will not make any mistake. My uncle said, but no, it's not the one that is buying the ticket, it's still my uncle in Poland that is buying the ticket. So the man said, okay, tell your uncle in Poland, tell your brother in Poland to buy the ticket and send it to our office, Turkish airline office in Ikeja, Lagos, and then they will print it out for me. So when we told my uncle that I couldn't fly, at this point my uncle had already he said he was no longer part of it. He doesn't want to be part of it anymore. We should just go back home and forget about the whole thing. So I was crying, I was shaking. I was like I said, it had dawned on me that I was leaving the country. So I was just crying, begging, uncle, please don't abandon me. So my uncle that followed me to the airport was like, okay, we have told him what happened and all that. So that day I just packed my things again. Then we headed for Benin. So when we got to Benin, I went into the room. I was just crying. So my grandmother told me, don't worry, everything will be fine. So 2 days after, my grandmother called my uncle and was begging him. My grandma pacified him, and he decided to listen, but he didn't tell us if he was going to buy the ticket or not. So time was going, October, November, so December came. I was like, oh my God, my visa was already reading, and school had started at this point. So so December came, everyone was happy. I was happy, but not really there. I was there but not there. My body, everything was there, but my spirit had gone. My spirit was not in Europe. Every other thing was in Europe, just my body that was in Nigeria. So crossover night came. During the crossover night, my uncle was a pastor in Redeemed then. So he was a pastor at our branch, but he was transferred. So what happened was, before he went to his parish, he called me and said, you see, today is crossover night, and for the past few months you saw what has been going on. So today, as you are going to church to the crossover night, know the reason why you are going there. When you get there, pour out your heart to God, because everything was going smoothly until you were supposed to leave, and then we don't know what happened. You couldn't fly, so you have to go to church, you have to go to this crossover night and just tell God to complete all that he had started. My uncle said a lot of things, but these words stood out, like, tell God to complete all he had started in your life. So I said, okay. I was still crying. So I went to church that night. Everyone was praying, jumping. Me, I was just crying. I was lost for words. I didn't even find the words to pray. The only thing that I was able to say that night was, God, complete all that you have started in my life. Complete all that you have started in my life. Complete all that you have started in my life. This was just my prayer. I was crying. I was just saying this, God, please, you have started it. Please finish it. Let it end in praise. Finish. I didn't pray any other prayer. So I think it was a weekend, So that Sunday, now we are now in the new year. That Sunday, I went to church. The first Sunday of the month, I went to church. So there was like this pledge going on in the church. They wanted to do some projects, and they wanted people to pledge, I didn't have anything because since I got back to Benin, nothing was going on. I was no longer going to school. I was just at home. I was doing nothing, so I didn't have money. My mom even didn't add me to her budget anymore because everyone had thought that okay, I'm no longer in Nigeria. So now to now come back and still be there, they were not planning. They didn't plan anything for me that December. So I was just there. I had nothing. But that first Sunday of the new year, when they were pledging, I didn't come out to pledge, but in my heart, I pledged 1,000. I told God I am going to give 1,000 for this project. Mind you, I didn't know where that money was coming from. So I just said, God, I am going to pledge 1,000 for this project. In my heart, I didn't come out. Everyone was saying what they were going to give, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say it out loud, but in my heart, I knew that was what I said. So I got home, the day everything was still going on as usual. So we were sitting down outside one day when a call came from my uncle in Poland and said, oh, he has bought the ticket and he has sent it to the Turkish airline in Lagos. I jumped. I was so happy. I was elated. You can't even imagine. I was very happy. And then everyone was just happy. So he told me the date and all that. So we said, okay. So I knew I redeemed my vow, but it was not on that Sunday because I was to leave before the next Sunday. So I had to just go to, after that day we heard the news. My mom, I don't know what happened. I mean, that week was just a beautiful week. My mom just said, okay, since you are still here, just take this 1,000 and use it to buy whatever you want. I don't want you to feel like I don't care. I care. So just take this and use it to do anything you want. So I took the 1,000, I placed it in an envelope, and I think it was a Thursday digging the Bible study. So I took it and I just went to the altar in church on that Thursday and church, and I was just happy. Then after the Bible study, I went home, packed all my things, and that was how I left Edo State to Lagos to fly. So when I got to Lagos, we went to the office. When we got to the Turkish airline office in Lagos, we met this man. The man was just there. So the man saw us and he was like, my friend, how are you? We greeted each other and I sat down. So my uncle that followed me went to meet the man. So the man said, oh, I remember. So has he bought the ticket? We said yes, and he sent it. We gave him the name. He entered and he was like, oh my goodness, there is also a mistake. See, from where I was seated, I had mistake. I started crying. I was just crying like, God, what's going on? My uncle started begging the man, sir, please help us. We don't know what's going on, So the man said, okay, no problem. I am going to print out this ticket now. When you get to the airport in the evening, just come straight to my desk and I will check her in. And so that was what happened. He gave us the ticket. So when we got to the airport in the night, this man was there, so we just went straight to him. When we got to where he was, he checked us in. And somebody was trying to help and he was saying, no, don't worry, I have checked her in already. So that was how I checked in. Even with that little mistake in the ticket, I was able to leave the country. So guys, that's how I found myself in Poland, and I am truly happy that I came to this country because at the time I came, Poland was still not very open, but now a lot of things have changed. They are so friendly, warm, and I am eternally grateful for this opportunity God gave to me through my uncle. So yeah, that's my story, guys. If you are inspired, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.